we have to talk about the season 1 finale of Placebo. There are obviously going to be spoilers in this video, so y'all, where do we even begin? To me, the theme of this season is hurt people hurt people. And before we get into the discussion, I will say this: the only people to blame in this whole situation are their parents, because everything that goes down in Placebo is literally the result of the fact that their parents could not blend the family well enough. Wuyan's mother failing to see that her own child needed help and that he needed all of her support, her trying to compensate by actually giving Wujin so much attention because he was the new son. And we never saw Wujin's dad actually try to make an effort and be there for Wuyan like Wuyan's mom did for Wujin, because they both went from being an only child to now having a whole other sibling. And given their natures, obviously Wuyan retreated and Wujin pushed, which is totally fine. That's just who they are. But if their parents had sat down and be like, okay, what's the issue here? We need to know so that we can be there for you guys, both of you, completely. Also, where the hell is Wujin's mom and where the hell is Wuyan's dad? Their biological parents? Whatever, that's probably something we're never gonna find out. We need to start with Wujin, because he was the main player in this chapter. I think for the very first time, Wujin has accepted that he's genuinely, truly hurt. Not only did he actually not want to engage with Wuyan at all, and he said, you don't listen to me, so why should I listen to you? That was huge. Him giving Wuyan control about the whole situation to see what Wuyan would do, and then him ending the playtime session early so that Wuyan would be hurt by seeing what they were doing. And him revealing that Wuyan having a crush on someone and him hating him, just those are two different things. But what he doesn't like is Wuyan looking down on him and rubbing Junwei in his face, because that makes him feel like trash. And this made me believe that we're starting to see parallels in this story. I'll tell you why in a sec. And then when the playtime was over, we saw Wujin reverting back to his toxic self and saying, you wanted this, you did this, you were the one that was begging for everything to happen. Don't you remember? We saw such an empty expression on his face at the end of the chapter, because in a way, he was getting his revenge. He was hurting Wuyan, but he was also hurting himself, because previous to him ending the game, he said something we've heard him say before. I thought tricking Wuyan and screwing him over would be fun. And then he said, I don't get it. What's going on? Hyung, tell me. And then he says, why do I feel like shit? Which to me says a lot of things. One, he feels guilty about hurting Wuyan and doing this from the beginning. Two, I think he has feelings for Wuyan now. And three, I think he doesn't know how to cope with anything. And I think a part of him knows that he has gone too far and now there's no turning back. Now let's talk about Wuyan. Wuyan is not okay, and he will not be okay going forward. Wuyan reminds me a lot of an ape who has been living in the shadow of an alpha male. And he tries and tries and tries to compete for resources, and he just cannot do anything or achieve what he wants, because the alpha is always gonna come out on top. So he's been constantly living in this fight or flight state of being, where the stress is just so much, which causes him to be super reactive, super fragile, super angry all the time. And when we add the fact that he has no friends except for Junwei, his parents are obviously neglectful, he lives with a person that gives him the most stress, he goes to school with the same person, it's obvious. And to be honest, I don't think Wuyan knows who he is if he's not someone who's mean and nasty towards Wujin. Because Juwin told him in the last chapter, he was like, you can be outgoing, but you're also extremely shy. You don't give older brother energy. You are just stuck in the middle. And it's true, there's no balance in Wuyan's character. When he's really happy, he's super happy, and when he's super sad and angry, he's super sad and angry. There's no balance. But in this chapter, while he was under the hypnosis, we got to see the sweet side of Wuyan, a side that is relaxed and honest. And this isn't the first time we've seen this side of Wuyan. We've seen glimpses of it multiple times throughout the season. When he was following Wujin around being please, why don't you want to play with me? And then him apologizing for what he has said earlier to Wujin, that was huge. And then him taking the lead and just letting himself fully be in the present moment with Wujin, just for Wujin to tear it all down by ending their play. And y'all, his sanity is breaking. First with Wujin telling him that it wasn't a dream and that they've done this many, many times before. And then Wujin gaslighting him, telling him that he was the one that wanted to do everything from the beginning. And then him remembering everything that they've been doing for the past few months all at once. And the look on his face went from being one of horror to being one of insane shock. It's like something broke in him because he was smiling but also crying at the same time. I really don't know how he's gonna recover from this. I think both of them are gonna try to date other people just to overcome all of the hurt that they've done to each other. Wujin is gonna try to go with that one girl, and Wuan is gonna try to go with Junwei, and he's gonna try to like attach to him. But because he feels so much like disgust in himself and like self-loathing, he might not think that he's worthy of him. And I think there's gonna be a part of him that's also really jealous about the girl that Wujin is gonna start dating. But what do you guys think?